Hello YouTube, this is Alabanjo and I'm going to bring you a deck profile of this deck I just made, a Murakumo Vanguard deck. This deck is really fun to play with.
Stealth beast, stealth dragon.
Yep, they're all stealth beasts.
No, they're stealth dragon. You'll flirt.
Stealth beasts. But yeah, basically your starter is Stealth Beast Evil Ferret. And this effect is actually really good for the time being, because what it does is it's a free effect, but all you have to do is put it on the bottom of your deck. And then what it does is you select one card from your hand and you superior call it into a rearguard circle, and at the end of the turn it goes back to your hand. So if you have something like Million Rat or something you just want back to your hand, it's a good option, you know, probably just to play and then guard with. So he's a good option to have right now. And he has that Pioneer ability, you know, when you ride him he goes to the rearguard circle. So yeah.
It's called Pioneer ability? That's
Yeah.
bad.
And then for the trigger lineup we have 4 heal triggers, standard. For the time being, 4 stands. Sometimes they're useful when your opponent's trying to guard your attacks, even though they're not that great right now. But it's something. 4 crits and 4 draws. Onto the grade 1s. We have 2 Stealth Beast Leaf Raccoon, and basically what he does is when he boosts your Vanguard, if you have more cards in your hand than your opponent, he becomes a 10k booster. So sometimes he works pretty well. Sometimes if your opponent's like playing OTT or something and they have more cards in your hand, you can just use it as a generic booster, or just put it behind the Vanguard. It doesn't really matter. 3 perfect guards. I need 1 more, but for the time being I have 3. These are self-explanatory, and see, they added this new little gold thing and now they're calling them sentinels. But yeah, run 3. 4 million rats, because these things are really fun to use. Whenever you call it out to a rearguard circle, you can counterblast 1, and you get a summon 1 from your deck, and at the end of the turn put it back at the bottom of the deck. Basically what it does is it deck thins you for that turn, and it places them at the bottom, so if you don't shuffle very much, then you won't draw into, well, they'll be kind of at the bottom, so you can like keep calling them out. That's why there's a combo with Ferret, where you just put them at the bottom, play a rat, probably just summon another one, and then at the end of the turn 1 returns, and then you just return 1 back to your hand. So that's actually a pretty decent combo for now. 3 of this Stealth Rogue of Silence, Shinjimaru. He's a generic 8k booster. It's pretty good. And then just to Stealth Beast Turbulent Edge, basically what he does is when he hits a Vanguard, Rearguard, or Vanguard, when he's in the Vanguard, you get to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you see any of the Mandala Lords in there, you get to add them to your hand and then place the remainder of them in the bottom of your deck in any order, so you can potentially, I guess, stack triggers if you guys want to call it, but it's pretty good. Helps you deck thin. Onto the grade 2s, we have 3 of this Stealth Beast Bloody Mist. He looks like the bad guy from Kung Fu Panda, the first one, kind of. He's your generic 10k beat stick. That's all he does. And then 4 of these Stealth Beast White Mane. He's your damage flipper, because sometimes you run out of damage or unflip damage because you use your rats a lot. So flipping a damage, you know, to get that Mandala Lord's effect in is actually pretty decent. And they're 9k too, so. And then there's 4 of Stealth Beast Crisp Breath, and he basically does the same thing as the grade 1 version of the Turbulent Edge, I believe. When he swings either Vanguard or Rearguard Circle and he hits a Vanguard, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck and you select one of them. You use sleeve if you get a Mandala Lord, and if you get it, you add it to your hand, and the rest you stack them at the bottom. Usually, you stack your triggers up the way you want it. If you get like a draw or something, don't stack in your like another trigger, because you're just gonna draw into it. But yeah, that's basically what you do. And then for grade 3s, we have 3 of the stealth bees. Well, Tengu Man, since there's nothing really much out there for this right now. But basically he has the same effect as, what is it, Mr. Impressibler? Mr. That one guy from, what was it?
Nova.
Yeah, Nova Grappers, there you go. You know, each turn you soul charge 1, and then you flip a damage face up, and then you can Mega Blast, you know, Counter Blast 8. No, Counter Blast 8, whoa, that's too much. You Soul Blast 8, you Counter Blast 5, and then you get to stand all your units, and his effect works in the rear guard too, so that's pretty good. And then for Mandala Lord, basically what he does is when he's being attacked, you counterblast 1 and send a copy of himself from your hand to the grave, and it makes your opponent's Vanguard lose 10k attack, and he's 11k on his own. So, you know, you can just like drop this and drop a 10 and be pretty set for the turn, or drop 2 copies. I've done that before. I dropped like 2 and they're like, oh, here you get like 2 triggers. But yeah, that's basically it. So guys, comment on this video, subscribe, some feedback or anything. Put random comments so I could read them and be like, oh, you guys suck or something. But yeah, that's it. See you later.